Hi, everyone. I'm Sherry Boyles, Director of Admission at Meredith College in Raleigh, North Carolina, and it is my pleasure on behalf of our entire Meredith community to welcome you to our third in a series of webinars that we've been having over the spring and will continue to have over the summer months to help you rising seniors move your college search forward. Kudos to you for taking advantage of these really important steps to help you learn more and discover your best fit school. I'm really excited to tell you today that we have students joining us from all across the country, from north to south, from east to west. We're excited about being part of your college search, students, every single one of you. We're excited about helping you make one of the most significant decisions you will make in the next year, if not one of the most significant decisions that you will make in your lifetime. Where you choose to go to school will have an impact on your life. Before our presenters begin today, I want to quickly share a little bit of research and a fact, students, that I believe will be very important to you as you do search for that school that's the best fit for you. About 3 years ago, Strata Education and the Gallup organization partnered to conduct research about the college search. Their goal was to create what they call consumer information. And that's information that would help you, students and parents, in your college search, information that would help you identify your best fit school. So they surveyed tens of thousands upon tens of thousands of college graduates across the country to find out what those college graduates thought about their college experience. And here's one thing they learned, that approximately 51% of the survey responders said that if they had it to do all over again, if they had their college search to conduct all over again, 51% of them said they would either choose a different major or a different school. 51%. Here's what you need to know about the reflections of Meredith graduates. They tell us that if they had it to do all over again, 95% of them would choose Meredith all over again. That's a very important fact, students, rising seniors, that you'll want to keep in mind. What do students think about their college experience? Strata and Gallup went on to say that one of the most important things you can do in your college search, yes, it's to get information, collect information about schools. You're doing that today. But they also went on to say one of the best resources for you to speak with is current students. Today, you're going to hear from some Meredith graduates and a current student, but I want you students to be sure to look closely at our virtual visit page. We have Friendly Friday chats. Our next one is coming up on June 26th, and at our Friendly Friday chat, you can connect directly with Meredith students to learn more about their experience. Ask them questions about their Meredith experience. So check out our virtual visit webpage again, look up those Friendly Friday chats, and also be sure to schedule a personalized virtual visit with your admission counselor. Today, we're going to focus on applied experiences. Rising seniors, those are the experiences outside of the classroom. They're incredibly important to your college experience, but also for preparing for the life that you want to lead. At Meredith, over 97% of students complete one or more applied experiences. So you're going to learn about 3 of those applied experiences today. Also, students will have live Q&A at the end of our session, near the end of our session, where the presenters are available to answer your questions live. So let's get started. I'm delighted to introduce to you to Jane Matthews, Assistant Director of Career Planning, who will be speaking with you about internships. Jane, I'll turn this over to you.
Right. Get my screen shared. Can everyone see that okay? Hope so. Thank you so much, Sherry. I am so glad to be here, and welcome to all of our participants. My name again is Jane Matthews. I serve as the Assistant Director of Employer Relations in the Office of Career Planning here at Meredith College. I also serve as one of our career counselors on our team as well. So I am excited to share a bit with you all about our services and how we serve students at Meredith. And then I'm also going to touch on internship experiences. So our office, we serve as a centralized resource for all students on campus, meaning we serve all degree programs and majors here. And we also serve our alumni for a lifetime, which is a bit unique. Our mission in the Office of Career Planning is to empower our students to be successful in careers that align with your strengths, your interests, your values, and your goals. And we recognize that that looks really different for every student. So we take a really individualized approach and a strengths-based approach to the work that we do. The ways that we work with students, we help you focus on your strengths, developing those during your time here at Meredith, and helping you apply those to careers of interest to you. And then we help you work on putting a plan in place on how to reach those goals. So that could include gaining experience in the form of internships or other applied experiences, as Sherry mentioned. And we also do a lot of preparation with students. And of course, that includes things like career exploration, sharing of resources, resume preparation, interview prep, lots of professional development and connections with alumni and employers. And we also help students focus on using different resources to your advantage that can help you find opportunities, such as LinkedIn and Handshake. So Handshake is really our premier recruiting platform. So this is designed to be a one-stop shop for students. As soon as you are enrolled here at Meredith, you have access to this site. This is where employers go to post their full-time jobs and internship opportunities for students. So what I like about the site is that employers are being very intentional about connecting with us. And this is where you can go and view different opportunities, apply for them, connect directly with employers, which is really neat. Currently, all 100% of the Fortune 500 are represented in the system, and there are over 400,000 employers currently posting positions in the site as well. So it's really robust. If you are in the market for an internship, we always recommend this as a starting place. And this is also where you're going to go to keep up with the events that we host throughout each semester, and actually this summer as well. We host a variety of different recruiting events for students. This is the way that employers can connect directly with you all, and a great way for students to make connections and learn about available internship opportunities. So we highly recommend taking advantage of any and all of these events. Right now, we're doing a lot of this virtually, which is working really well. Throughout each semester, we will host career fairs, networking events, meet and greets, coffee chats. We like to take career treks when we can go back in person to different employer sites to see those. So we host a lot of different ways for you to make those connections with employers, and encourage you to get signed up for Handshake as soon as you get enrolled with us. So internships are so important. We hear this all the time. So why are these so important? Really, I think internships are one of the best ways to try something out and see if you really like a career path. I think there's no better way to figure out what you like and don't like until you try it. So I think internships are a great way to confirm your career interests while you're establishing a professional network. And you're also getting the opportunity to apply what you're learning in the classroom. So you're really getting to see all the great things you're learning come to life in the workplace. And you're able to gain skills and competencies that we know employers are looking for. So this includes things like communication skills, working as part of a team, critical thinking skills, technology skills, global fluency, being resilient. These are all things we know that employers are looking for, and things I think you really gain through a really solid internship experience. We hear from employers too that internships are often a deciding factor between two otherwise equally qualified candidates. And additionally, many employers use their internship programs as a pipeline to their full-time opportunities. So another great reason to explore internship opportunities during your college experience. I wanted to give you a quick snapshot of some of the places where Meredith students intern, and this is by no means an end-all be-all list, but really just a snapshot of employers that recruit frequently at Meredith and places we tend to have a good number of students participate in internships. And you'll see lots of different industries represented here. We've got for-profits, nonprofits, healthcare, education, technology, and the list goes on. So there are a lot of different opportunities. And again, lots of these are posted within Handshake as well as other sites. I wanted to take just a minute, and I'm not sure, Marie, were you able to be here with us today? She may not have been able to be here. I was hoping she could be here live, but I wanted to take a few minutes to showcase one of the students that I have had an honor of working with during her time here at Meredith. Marie Johnson recently completed her Bachelor of Science this past May in Business Administration and Fashion Merchandising and Design, and she also minored in Finance. She is also continuing on with her accelerated MBA, and she's expected to finish next May with that. So she is currently in our 4+1 MBA program, and she has actually just started her full-time job at Lenovo this week. So we're really proud of her, and during her time at Meredith, she had some really excellent internship experiences, including 2 different internships at Eaton Solutions. One of those was an operations and processing engineering internship, and the other was an implementation internship. She also spent a summer as a risk analyst in Credit Suisse's internship program. So really nice variety of experiences. And I had the opportunity to ask Marie a bit about what she found most valuable about her experiences. And I'll share some of her thoughts with you all. When I asked Marie what she found most valuable about her internship experiences, she shared with me all of it, really. For me, I was able to get experience in both large and small corporations, and just getting those experiences was extremely valuable to see how businesses operate at those levels. Her internship exposed her to a lot of opportunities to meet with different people and build connections. When I asked Marie about what skills or competencies she felt like she gained during her experience, she says, "One of the main things I learned during my internship is the appropriate communication with the right person and making meaningful and effective connections." I also asked her about how she felt like she was able to apply some of her classroom learning to her internship experiences and how she felt like it enhanced her education. Marie shared that going into many internships, there are basic concepts you're expected to know, many of which are taught in the classroom. Another thing that we sometimes overlook as students is being in the classroom is not only teaching us topics and new concepts, it's teaching us about how to learn. Having had many internships, managers and supervisors want to see that you are teachable, and I thought that was a really great takeaway. So I think what Marie echoes is really the value that we hear from many students and what they gain from internship experiences. Again, just really getting to apply what you're learning in the classroom and gaining those great skills that are going to serve you well in the workforce, really no matter what career you pursue. If you are interested in learning more about student experiences, I invite you to follow our YouTube channel. Meredith College OCP has a YouTube station, and we invite you to check that out. And I think Jordan is going to share in the chat box the direct links to these 2 videos. We have a handful of others, internship showcase videos, where you can hear a variety of our student experiences, just like Marie shared, and what they thought of their internships and how they feel like they benefited from those experiences. So we invite you to check those out. I know we will have an open Q&A at the end of our presentation today, but certainly if there are questions you have for me or would like to follow up, I welcome that. Please feel free to reach out if you have additional questions. And with that, I am going to go ahead and turn it over to Dr. Carol Perez-Hydrix, and she's going to talk about undergraduate research.
Cool. Thanks a lot. So hopefully everyone can see my screen. If something comes up that you can't see or you can't hear me, please let me know. Hi, everyone. I'm really glad to be talking to you today about undergraduate research. I basically structured this as an overview that showcases some of my favorite projects I've conducted with students here at Meredith. My name's Carolina Perez-Heydrich, and I'm a professor in the Department of Biological Sciences and the director of undergraduate research here at Meredith. So within my department, I coordinate the public health major and teach several courses like epidemiology and biostats. My background is in infectious diseases and statistics, and my research focus is on issues surrounding One Health topics that address how the interactions between humans, animals, and the environment affect human health. So first, I want to mention that undergraduate research is one of the best parts of my job here at Meredith because it provides me with the opportunity to get out of the classroom and do some science, as well as form relationships with students that can go on all 4 years, you know, and even past that for some. So that's why I love it. I also want to highlight that all the work I'll be discussing here was eventually presented by undergraduate research students at different local and regional conferences. And I've listed them here. A couple of the projects have even been published or are close to being published as peer-reviewed papers in scientific journals, so that's pretty cool. So first, and my favorite project I want to showcase is our armadillo leprosy project. With this wildlife disease project, we were interested in determining whether Mycobacterium leprae, which is the bacterial pathogen that causes leprosy, could actually be transmitted through contaminated soil, right? Armadillos are actually the only natural non-human host of M. leprae, so they can get infected and suffer disease much like humans do. So they're like a good study organism for this. So currently our understanding is that the main form of M. leprae transmission is through direct contact and inhalation of respiratory aerosol droplets, sort of like with a cold or flu virus. And what we were proposing was that individuals might also become infected through contact with contaminated soil, which would be like a new mode of transmission, right? So, sorry, this is taking a little bit of time. So I set out with 2 of my research students, Andy Whitson and Miranda Daughtry, on a road trip to Yazoo, Mississippi at the end of the summer to walk through clouds of mosquitoes and spider webs and to survey armadillo burrows for the presence of M. leprae. During the day, we would walk transects along our study area and take soil samples from armadillo burrows. And then at night, we went around on Jim's truck. So Jim was like our armadillo expert collaborator. So we would go around with a spotlight to find foraging armadillos. And then like when we would find them, Andy, Miranda, and I would like sneak up behind them to take soil samples from the areas that they were foraging. And so here I've got some videos of us finding some armadillos and then like kind of chasing after them to collect their soil samples from where they were foraging. And this guy here, you can see him foraging through the grass. One of the things that I want to mention, if I can go to the next slide, is that with this research, right, the students, well actually anyone who is going to be handling the soil samples themselves had to wear like the appropriate PPE, right, the personal protective equipment. So Miranda here, for instance, she's got a respirator mask, double gloves, eye protection. We had to treat each soil sample as if it was contaminated, right? So students got some good experience with EPA protocols related to environmental microbial surveys. After we collected all our samples, we brought them back to campus and tested them for the presence of M. leprae. And this took quite a bit of time. It took a couple semesters actually to get the assays working, but we did eventually get some positive hits, and roughly 15% of the burrow samples we tested were positive for M. leprae. So what this means is we may have identified an alternative transmission pathway for leprosy, right? Like pretty cool. There's still quite a bit of work to be done to determine if individuals could encounter an infectious dose via like soil-borne infection, but our results suggest there could be some environmental transmission at work here. So in addition to the Armadillo Project, I've also worked with students on research projects as part of our Costa Rica Study Abroad program, which Brooke Schurer will be talking about, like study abroad here, but I wanted to give a shout out there. One of the projects that students worked on was dealing with leafcutter ants. So you can see here a video of leafcutter ants. These guys like cut out forage material and then like transport it all the way back to their colony to grow this fungus. So they're sort of like farmer ants, you know, and then they eat the fungus. So anyways, the students got really interested in leafcutter ants and wanted to do a project. So we were like, totally, let's do it. So we did that project, and then this past year, we had our research students, or our Costa Rica students, conduct research on bat activity patterns, which is really cool. We got to see, you know, how it is that researchers like actually capture these guys. In both cases, both projects involved a good deal of field work and data analysis, and the students from the leafcutter ant cohort successfully published their study in an undergraduate research journal. The BAT project manuscript is being finalized this summer for submission, so hopefully that cohort will also involve a publication. And I've also collaborated with students on several global health projects that make use of publicly available data sets to answer various public health oriented questions. So here I highlight two multi-year projects that we're currently finalizing for submission to peer-reviewed journals. With these sorts of projects, the students gain advanced skills in statistical computing and data analysis, and which like those skills are highly marketable in the field of public health. As far as local projects go, we've done a lot of surveillance work looking into the prevalence of zoonotic parasites in public lands. So zoonotic means they're like diseases that can be transmitted from animals to humans, right? So we've done quite a bit where students went out to parks and we took like random samples, random soil samples within the park, and then checked them under the microscope for parasites. And luckily, like most of our parks here are clean, but we did see some cool stuff, which are highlighted here. In addition to that project, we also had another project looking at the surveillance of zoonotic antibiotic resistant bacteria. So we were looking at whether migratory waterfowl could actually serve as vectors of antibiotic resistant bacteria. So that kind of also involved like a combination of field work where we were kind of like following geese around and collecting fecal samples. And just so you know, geese can be kind of like aggressive, and we learned that. So we would collect the samples and then process them back in the lab. And then this summer, I'm starting up a new project to look at the role of skin microbiota, so like kind of like the bacteria on skin. So look at the role of skin microbiota on preventing fungal disease that's been implicated in the decline of amphibian populations worldwide. And we're going to be focusing on salamanders for the most part. So this summer, I have a research student, and we're like doing some social distancing field work where we're testing out our field survey methods so that we can hopefully start collecting skin swabs from salamanders starting this fall. And right now, the salamanders are not very active in this part of the country, but we have still been able to see some cool stuff. Like down here, I have a little baby, like a hatchling freshwater turtle that we ran into in the field, which is pretty cool. And all of the work that I presented here was funded by the college in some capacity. And I've listed out like some of the funding streams so that there are opportunities to get funded for the work that you're doing as a research student here on campus. And lastly, I want to mention that like with this little overview, I really only talked about my own research projects, but there are a bunch of other faculty on campus that are working with research students. So I have a link here, and I think Jordan is going to share the link to the virtual CSA day. But if you're interested in seeing like all the other types of research that are going on in campus, you could check out that virtual CSA Day link, which kind of like, so CSA Day is a day that we have on campus that it's called Celebrating Student Achievement Day, that highlights like student research and student work, right? And this year, because of COVID, we moved it from an on-campus experience to a virtual one. So you can kind of check out like what types of projects students were working on across campus. And so that's pretty much all I have for you guys on this. Thank you for your attention. I'll turn it over to Brooke Schurer now, who's going to talk to you all about international programs.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Perez. I am Brooke Shore, and I'm the Director of International Programs at Meredith College, and I am delighted to be here with you today, joined by one of our superstar Meredith students, Rainer Dale, who participated in a semester in Italy as well. So, why study abroad? Study abroad allows you to travel internationally while you complete academic credits for your degree and help you graduate on time. Study abroad enhances your career skills and your personal strengths. I've listed a few that students have shared with us they gained. We have a 30-year tradition of study abroad here at Meredith. It's a really integral part of our college experience. It's part of our priority for graduating smart, confident, independent students. And we really want students to gain a lifelong engagement of the world. So you develop lifelong travel skills and intercultural competence to help you wherever you go after Meredith. And today I'm going to talk about not only our program priorities, but also the hundreds of different program options that you have here at Meredith for studying abroad. So let's start with our Meredith in Italy program. This is our signature study abroad program. We have a permanent study abroad site located in a little town called San Sepolcro. It's an hour and a half outside of Florence. It is a beautiful medieval town. We have been there for over 30 years, and we're the only college program there. And what that means is we've developed incredible relationships with this special, beautiful place that allows our students to become part of the community and really have an authentic cultural experience when they're studying abroad. This is our home in Italy. It's the Palazzo Alberti. It's a 16th century palazzo. We've been there for 10 years. Meredith renovated it in 2009 for students and faculty to live and learn together. It's right on the main street in the town. And you can study in Italy for both a semester or a summer. Our semester program is designed for all majors at Meredith to fulfill general education requirements and fulfill their foreign language requirement in one semester. And then our summer programs in Italy range from 10 days to 8 weeks. They are both discipline specific and general education focused. Both of these opportunities are led by Meredith faculty. And now I'm going to turn it over to Rainer to share a little bit about her experience in Italy for a semester.
Hey y'all, I'm Rainer, and I had the awesome opportunity to go abroad in fall of 2019, and I got to stay in San Sepolcro. So a little bit about me is that I'm a junior, and I'm majoring in international studies and religious and ethical studies. And I did the Meredith Abroad program in San Sepolcro. And before I left, some of the goals I had for myself were learning how to travel on my own, adventuring in a way that I had never really been able to before, and immersing myself in a new culture and being completely present in a moment. And we do take classes when we're abroad, but the really cool thing about these classes is that they are designed to enhance your time there. So some of the classes that I took were Italian language, Learn to Travel, Travel to Learn, Modern Drama, Italy Today, Yoga, and I had the opportunity to do an independent study with a professor back home, and all of these classes were really fun, and they really taught me more about where I was. So another really cool thing that you get to do in Italy is go on excursions with a group of girls and your professor who you come. We had 3 when we were there. The first one was the first time that we went anywhere, and it was to the towns of Anghiari and Arezzo. And we got to learn how to use public transportations like buses and trains. And after that, we used those the rest of the time that we were in Italy. So they were very important, and they're just really fun to ride a train or a bus. We also got to go to Florence, where we visited the Uffizi Gallery, the Museo Galileo, and the Duomo. And then one of the last weekends we were there, we had the really cool opportunity to go to Ravenna, Ferrara, and Bologna, which are 3 towns in the Emilia-Romagna region. And the cool thing about Italian towns is that each one is different because they have their own unique culture, history, and traditions. So you get to really kind of see so many different places when you're just in one country. So like Dr. Shore said, if you go to San Sepolcro, you'll be staying in the Palazzo Alberti, which is a medieval palazzo. Palazzo means big house in Italian, basically, on the main corso of San Sepolcro. So you're basically in the heart of the town, which is the best place to be. You're living above a pizzeria. It's great. And there's a local bus stop with easy transportation to the train station, from which you can go anywhere you really want to. The palazzo has apartment-style bedrooms and bathrooms for whoever lives in it, and breakfast and lunch are provided. Lunches are prepared by Margherita, who is the on-site chef. She is wonderful. Her food is the best food that you will ever taste, I promise. So the other thing that you get to do in Italy is go places on the weekends. So we get to go somewhere new every weekend, and traveling as a group was cheap and fun. Traveling independently is also a good way to learn about yourself. So there are multiple options, but some of the places that I had the awesome opportunity to visit were Cinque Terre, Genova, Orvieto, Sorrento, Capri, Perugia, Poland, Milan, Greece. There are a lot. We a lot of the times did multiple places on one weekend so that we could try and see everything possible because we wanted to see everything. It's an awesome opportunity. I learned a lot about myself personally while traveling and while being in Italy. I learned that I can travel independently and confidently no matter where I am, even if I don't know the language. The best way to discover who I am is through traveling. And I learned that I like small towns, probably more than big cities, and gelato and pizza are definitely their own food groups, and no one can argue with me on that because it's just Italian pizza and gelato. To sum everything up, because I was able to study abroad, I am now a lifetime traveler, and I have so many more skills that I gained because of this. And it is so possible to go abroad if you prepare. So yeah, now back to Dr. Shore.
Thank you, Rainer. So we are going to continue talking about Meredith Abroad summer programs. You got a little preview from Dr. Perez earlier. So we offer anywhere from 8 to 10 programs every summer where Meredith students can study abroad with some of our most dynamic faculty, earning credits towards your degree. I've given just a snapshot of some of the program offerings we have. We're always offering more. Some, as you heard from Dr. Perez, may be in your major. Some are for general education requirements to learn about the life and culture of where you're going. And we also have affiliate programs. So if there's a location you've always wanted to travel to, like Germany, or if you want to do an internship abroad or do research abroad, we have hundreds of opportunities where we have partnered with the strongest study abroad providers throughout the world. And so these are wonderful opportunities if you have a specialized academic interest or location, or again, if you want to do one of these internship or research opportunities. The student at the top here studied business in China. The student at the bottom studied public health in Botswana. So there really are wonderful opportunities, and the credits and financial aid and scholarships work the same as our faculty-led programs. On the topic of financial aid, we often get questions about budgeting and scholarships with study abroad, And we do aim to keep our costs as low as possible so that study abroad can be accessible for everyone. Every student who studies abroad meets with a financial aid counselor during her application process to understand how her aid will transfer on study abroad. And we have funding workshops that we host in our office twice a month so that you can learn about scholarship opportunities, financial aid, and how to create a realistic budget for this experience. We offer over $80,000 in study abroad scholarships a year, and Meredith has really generous financial aid policies for study abroad. I noted earlier that my #1 priority for study abroad programs is student safety and student support. So I wanted to give you just a snapshot of some of the ways that we prioritize student safety. All of our programs are required to go through mandatory safety assessments. Our faculty go through extensive training. Every day I monitor, 15 to 20 different sources of information on global health and safety concerns all throughout the world to make sure we're staying on top of situations where we have students. And we are available 24/7 for support. So as long as there's a Meredith student abroad, I'm sleeping with my phone next to my head to make sure that I can offer support whenever it's needed. Obviously, we are consistently monitoring the global pandemic and its impact on international travel. But as of right now, we are very hopeful about the future of study abroad for 2021 and beyond, and we're really excited to travel again in the future. So thank you for your time, and I'm going to turn it over to Grace Sugg, Associate Director of Admission.
All right, thank you, Brooke, and thank you so much to all of our presenters for sharing all of that wonderful information. It's always so exciting to see all the wonderful things that Meredith students are getting to do beyond the classroom and how they're able to apply those experiences in so many different ways. So at this point, we are going to move into our question and answer portion of the event. So students and participants, thank you for your participation already in submitting some great questions when you registered. As we've mentioned earlier, if you have thought of a question during the presentations or if one comes to mind suddenly, feel free to type that in the Q&A box and we'll try to move through as many as we can with the time that we have. So we're going to start with a question for Jane Matthews. The question is, how can I apply for internships? And could you also give us some examples of the kinds of internships that a student in business or hospitality or graphic design specifically might be taking advantage of?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Grace. Those are great questions. So I had shared a bit of information about Handshake. So once you are enrolled at Meredith, that is always your one-stop shop for applying for internships, certainly. We also do a lot of training with students on utilizing LinkedIn to explore opportunities and internships. I think those are two great places to start. One really great thing about Meredith, our faculty are so involved with our student internship experiences as well. They're often an excellent resource in terms of finding out about opportunities. Many of our students pursue internships for academic credit. Often that is an option through many of the majors, and actually a requirement in particular. Business is a great example of that, where an internship is required as part of the academic program. So your faculty are going to be excellent resources as well. What we like to do in the Office of Career Planning is really get to know you, meet with you one-on-one, find out a little bit more about your interests, what might be a good fit for you in terms of the type of organization you're looking for, the specific type of work, and we can really help brainstorm some ideas with you as well there. Examples in regards to business. One of the really cool things about business is it's so broad. You can do lots of different things with that major, and we have students interning at all kinds of different organizations. I mentioned for-profits, nonprofits, graphic design in particular. I was thinking about this earlier, signal design. We've had students at Carolina Woman Magazine, Generate Design. Recently, I've been really excited that we've been able to build some stronger relationships with marketing and advertising firms in the area, such as Clean, McKinney, WM Harper. We actually have an alum working there, and a couple at Clean. So those are some places that have hired not only business students, but also have openings for graphic design interns as well. So depending on kind of what your focus area is, I think there's a lot of different opportunities. And we're so fortunate in the Raleigh area. We're in a great location in terms of being really close to downtown Raleigh, obviously, but also RTP, and many of those employers recruit actively at Meredith for interns.
All right, thank you. So our next question I'm going to direct to Brooke. What is the best year to study abroad as an undergrad student?
That's a great question, and it's one that we receive often. I will say that the best time to study abroad really depends on the student. So you've already heard Meredith is a really personal place, and that's why we prioritize one-on-one advising for each student to figure out your personal academic, financial, career goals and how we can weave study abroad into that in a really seamless way. I will say that for our Italy semester program, we have found that the sweet spot for that program is during sophomore year, because a lot of the courses are general education requirements that will help all majors fulfill degree requirements before they really jump into more intensive major and minor courses. So we have found that for that program in particular, there is an ideal time, but otherwise students at Meredith can study abroad as soon as summer after their freshman year on campus. And a lot of students do. We tell students if you go early, you can go often. So we have a number of students who will go early in their career, maybe to do a general education type of program, and then later in their career to do an internship abroad, for example. So lots of great options.
All right, great. Lots of exciting things to look forward to. All right, our next question, I'm going to direct this to you, Carolina. What sets Meredith apart from other schools?
I think the ability to work so closely with faculty and engage in research is certainly something that comes to mind. At larger universities where the focus for faculty is mostly on conducting their own research and furthering their own research career, the focus for faculty at Meredith and at a teaching college like Meredith would be to further the careers of our students, right? So it's kind of like a different, we're more student-centered than faculty-centered, and that's definitely something that's different than other schools. You've already mentioned the benefit of the location, right? So having that sort of small school experience within an area that is so rich in opportunities out there is also a huge plus, right? So you can get that small school experience, yet also have the opportunity to engage in internships at bigger companies that are close by. I mean, I would say that those are kind of, you know, that the student-faculty interaction and also location are kind of what set it apart from other places.
All right, thank you. Okay, so back to Jane. Can you give some examples of the kinds of internships available for criminology students?
For criminology students, is that what you said, Grace? Perfect. Yeah, another great question. So I think, you know, criminology is one of those areas where, again, you've got a lot of different options. I have seen students intern with local area social services offices, police departments. We have students working in nonprofit agencies. Again, it's pretty broad. And I meant to mention this earlier, but on the Meredith website, there's a great resource to career. And you can actually go major by major and see examples of the specific places that students have completed internships. It also shows where they have gone on to full-time work, as well as graduate programs that they pursue. So that can be a really excellent resource. We might be able to put that maybe in the chat box to link to that for you. But you could see some specific organizations where those students have gone. But that's kind of an overview, if that helps answer the question. Interact is a great example of an organization we've had lots of students intern at from the criminology department and sociology as well.
All right, great. Thank you for sharing that resource to share more information for a variety of programs.
Sure.
And actually, Jane, I have another question for you, a more general question, and you touched on some of these things in your part of the presentation, but is there anything you would add to how does Meredith prepare students for the workforce? Is there anything else you want to add to that?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. That's another great question. That is really what our team tries to do. A couple ways specifically we do that. We host a certificate program called Angels Suited for Success. This runs both in the fall and spring semester, and it is a certificate program designed to help students really focus in on their professional development. And we've designed it to where generally there are 4 events that a student participates in throughout the semester to receive the certificate. 2 of those are required events, and those look differently every semester. Sometimes it's a networking event, sometimes it's a panel discussion with different employers, sometimes it's a focus session on a particular topic like salary negotiation. And then for the other 2 activities, we leave that up to the student to choose. So you could perhaps attend a career fair, you could come to an employer information session. So that is one way that we help students be really intentional and hopefully design their own program in such a way that makes sense based on their individual goals. We also run a really extensive mock interview program, so that's held both in the fall and spring semesters as well, and this is where we invite employer partners to come in and actually facilitate practice interviews for students. I know it sometimes sounds kind of scary to do something like that on the front end, but it's a really great experience where students can really practice what an interview might look like with someone who actively recruits at Meredith. You also see our team frequently in the classroom here. We are often presenting on a variety of different professional development topics, and we invite our employer partners to do that as well. So this could be anything from resume preparation, how to design a really great looking LinkedIn profile, how to prepare for an interview, how to effectively network. We recently did a session that MetLife Global Technology hosted for us at the end of this past semester, where the recruiters talked about how to gain the skills needed in 2020 for the workforce. So we try to make sure we're really keeping up with trends and preparing our students professionally for their next steps.
All right, great. Thank you for sharing all of that.
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to go back over to Brooke now, and you talked a little bit about affiliate programs, but if a student wants to study abroad somewhere that Meredith doesn't have a set program going, can you talk about how you might help a student decide where she wants to go abroad and how a student would best prepare for going abroad, say from day 1 at Meredith?
Yes, yeah, that's a great question. So our affiliate programs, again, we have, as I mentioned, partnerships all throughout the world. And our associate director, Liz Yaros, is our study abroad advisor. And so if you're a student and you're interested in going to a particular location where Meredith doesn't currently have a faculty-led program, Liz will meet with you one-on-one, often multiple times, to listen to your goals for where you would like to go and what you'd like to do. And then she will help you identify, based on the goals that you've articulated, some great programs where we have partnerships and we can help you kind of navigate that application process. I mentioned that, or I think Rainer mentioned that the key to studying abroad is planning early. I can't emphasize that enough. So every September we have our study abroad fair. This year it's going to be a virtual week-long study abroad fair, but we invite all of those affiliate partner providers to come to campus. So students have the opportunity early in the year to speak one-on-one with those partner providers and get lots of information about programs that are exciting to them. Once a student has identified an affiliate program that she wants to participate in, we'll use Jasmine, who did public health in Botswana, for example. We will help that student navigate through the application process and acceptance process. I mentioned that academic credits will also, just as the faculty-led programs go, can be applied towards major, minor, general education requirements and electives. And those students have the same opportunities to apply for our study abroad scholarships and financial aid portability as well. We focus a lot on preparing students for the study abroad experience. So a student on an affiliate program will not only have a pre-departure orientation from her affiliate provider, but she'll also have really specialized orientation workshops with our office. We do a health and safety and travel logistics orientation and a cultural adjustment orientation for those students. And again, as I mentioned, Liz works very closely one-on-one with those students. So you have a group workshop preparation, but also lots of opportunities for one-on-one advising as well. So you can feel really confident as you prepare for the experience.
All right, wonderful. I'm glad to know about the week-long virtual study abroad fair this September as well. So our next question is kind of merging two different areas, and we've heard a little bit about some research opportunities abroad. I'm wondering, are there any internship opportunities abroad? So Brooke, I'm going to start with you, and then I don't know if Jane has anything to add to that, but can I do an internship abroad?
The answer is yes. And we have lots of opportunities for students to do internships abroad. And it's really exciting because we're seeing more and more of those programs every year and more students take advantage of them. So last summer, for example, we had 3 different students doing internships in Australia, and they had different majors. So one was interior design, one was in marketing, and I think the other one may have been in graphic design. I can't remember, but they were all, some were at nonprofits, some were at one was at a large company, one was at a small organization. And so yes, you can intern abroad. We had a student also last summer who wants to go into occupational therapy, and she did an internship in Dublin with the Irish Wheelchair Association. And that was a great professional opportunity for her. So lots of different opportunities, and you find out about those and apply for those in the same way that you would an affiliate study abroad program. I will say some of our faculty-led programs also include internship components. So our fashion program in Paris, for example, offers students an opportunity to intern with a top fashion designer in Paris during Paris Men's Fashion Week and to work behind the scenes at those fashion shows. And so that is a phenomenal opportunity. It's been for the last few years interning with Ellie Saab, which that name might be familiar if you've watched Red Carpets and things like that. So great opportunities, and we're happy to help students find different pathways for those.
All right, very exciting. Thank you for sharing those specific examples. We have had another question come in that actually relates to that. So we'll start with Jane and then move back over to Brooke. What kinds of internships abroad are there for hospitality or in the local area for hospitality? Are there any examples either here in the local area or?
Yeah, I think I will let Brooke speak to the internship opportunities abroad for hospitality, but I can speak to locally. Yes, we are seeing, you know, it's been an interesting economy for various industries, but again, we are in such a great location in regards to hospitality. We have had students and actually have alums working at places in roles like hotel and spa directors. We have students go into event planning, obviously restaurant and hotel management, marketing at hospitality related organizations. So I think there's a lot of variety there, and it's certainly a growing field, particularly in our space here in Raleigh. But again, yeah, I'll let Brooke speak to the international component of that.
Sure. So I will say something that's really exciting for students who are interested in doing something international and also interested in hospitality is our director of the hospitality management program at Meredith is also very passionate about those things. So from the moment he stepped on campus, we've been meeting to identify some really great programs and internship opportunities with our provider organizations abroad, and we have a great list of some of those opportunities. Additionally, he and I are working together with a professor of marketing as well to develop a faculty-led program for Meredith students who are studying hospitality and marketing to get practical experience abroad. So, you know, working and interning at an international festival, for example. So we're in the process of developing that program for summer 2021, and it's the type of opportunity that we'll be offering regularly, because that is going to be a core priority of that program. So the faculty are very motivated and excited to develop opportunities.
Great, and always new things, new exciting things happening and planning. Well, at this point, I want to thank all of our presenters for your help in answering these questions and providing great information for us this afternoon. This is actually all the time that we have for our questions this afternoon, but certainly students and participants, if you have a question you didn't have a chance to ask or didn't have a chance to answer this afternoon, please reach out to admissions. We want to make sure we get you that information that you're wondering about. And I wanted to provide a few important next steps. And so that would actually be the very first important next step for our students who have joined us today. Students, you each have a personalized assigned admissions counselor to you from our office. And we are really excited to meet you and to talk with you and learn a little bit more about your interests and your goals and how Meredith could be the right fit for you for the future. So if you've not done so already, please reach out to us, connect with us, introduce yourself. I know earlier in the session in the chat box, Jordan did share the Meet Your Counselor page from our website. So if you don't know who your assigned counselor is yet, please feel free to go to that page and reach out and connect. I also wanted to reiterate something that Sherry mentioned early on in the beginning of our session. We have a couple of other opportunities for you to connect with us and to learn more about Meredith through these types of virtual sessions. So next Friday, the 26th at 3 o'clock, we have a chance for you to talk in a small group setting with some of our current students. That's our Friendly Friday chat, June 26th at 3 o'clock. So be sure to look into that. We also will have a couple of other webinars coming up this summer on different topics. So our next one will be July 16th at 2 o'clock, and that is focused more on student life and the Meredith community. So make sure to check back with our virtual visit page on our Meredith website, as well as check your email this summer for those upcoming opportunities. And most importantly, another way, if you've not already had one of these this summer, connect with your admissions counselor through a personalized one-on-one virtual information session. We want to make sure that you're able to do one of those this summer, and anyone who completes one of those this summer will be entered in a drawing for a $500 tuition grant at the end of July. So we want to make sure you're able to sign up for one of those. We are currently offering those multiple times throughout the week. So again, either reach out to us or check that virtual visit page for information on signing up. But thank you for spending a part of your afternoon with us. We really are looking forward to working with you in this upcoming year. Reach out, stay well, and we will look forward to talking with you soon. Thank you.